very easy to blame people, blame social media, blame society, or blame the party that you're against. But my question is, and one thing that I think about a lot is, how often do people admit to themselves that perhaps it's their own fault for actually being so easily swayed, so easily coerced, and so easily manipulated because they are so inherently emotionally reactive? On one extreme, some people choose aversion and choose to kind of live in resentment, denial, a kind of isolation, and a kind of just inherently negative, sort of pessimistic way of being. On the other extreme, some people choose indulgence and just get caught up in the stream of emotional reactivity and following whatever events or whatever external circumstances might be coming their way and following whatever agenda might be being put in front of them. The reality is that both of those things are coming from the exact same place. They have the exact same mechanics, and it's just two sides of the same coin, because neither party has the discernment or the accuracy of perception or even the ability to listen and perceive something accurately. So the actual cause and effect relationships that are at place are not even seen, are not even understood, and can't actually be seen for what they genuinely and truly are. The harsh truth that few people want to actually admit and look at in themselves, which is why they can't answer these questions and why they make these polarity-based decisions, is because they don't see how truly simple creatures that they actually probably are, and how the vast majority of our behavior is coming from our base desires of power, fear, and sex. But the funny thing is, and the weird coincidence, is that basically this has been the fundamental teaching of every authentic religion and every authentic spiritual tradition since the dawn of time. Basically, this is the nature of the human, of all humans, of all of us. This is the human condition, and this is the nature of it. These are the problems, and possibly maybe here's a path or some kind of potential path or some kind of potential solution outside of it, which very few people ever actually manage and very few people even actually try to engage with. Because I see what spirituality is now in modern times, the vast majority is just, again, people's base desires, stimulating their emotions, following their feelings, following their imagination, flights of fantasies, doing drugs, stimulants, or substances, or whatever experiences that generate lots of sensation within themselves, which is basically the opposite of every teaching of every potential or every tradition since the dawn of time. And then a lot of religions nowadays are falling into that similar category, or they're just falling into either complete indulgence and attachment or complete aversion. Because again, going back to the point, lacking any degree of self-reflection, self-accountability, self-responsibility, self-cultivation, and really not having any understanding or discernment of the actual mechanics that are actually at play, which is where the actual rubber hits the road, which is where actual empowerment arrives. So the simple fact of the matter is that a large part of our identity is based around our base desires, which causes us to follow whatever will stimulate our base desires based on our preferences or our biases. So basically the way society is functioning, the way culture is functioning, is just supply and demand. So if these mechanics are in place, it is basically nearly completely impossible for a person to genuinely listen, hear, and subsequently have any degree of discernment, because they will be presented with authentic information, but they won't see it. They'll be presented with falsehood and nonsense, and they will think that is authentic, and they will follow that. And basically, they will just live a life following their base desires, stimulating power, fear, and sex, which then makes them absolutely, positively, completely, easily swayed and easily coerced.